Green Bay at Atlanta. Can the Atlanta Falcons make it to the NFC Championship?
So, and this is not from a place of any, from a hater. I think the Falcons are a very formidable opponent this year. And honestly, they're concerning. They're a concerning team for sure for anybody in the NFC. I do think, though, they're not at the place where they're going to make a jump yet. I think we're seeing, though, things come together, right? Bijan looks like an absolute all-pro, like we figured. I mean, this is absolutely no surprise. I think he's very much in the same realm as Jalen Carter, where it was like absolute, they could be all-pro rookies from day one. 2 guys from this class, right? But I think if you're asking me also, too, the thing like what's holding them back, again, sounds bad. No, it's something that like no fan base wants to hear, and you're going to sit here and reject it immediately. But again, when Desmond Ritter's the QB and the whole the ideology behind the offense is like, we're just going to play as careful as possible because that's how we're going to win. I mean, that is right now. It's working. Again, it works. It's working just fine. Run the ball, chew the clock, play very stout defense, shell behind it, keep teams from the big play. It works, right? That's what the Falcons are doing, and it works.
Yeah.
Again, I just think that if you're going to make the jump to the championship level at any, like even conference championship, you have to be at a point where you have a quarterback that can at least hit a few shots a game and you can count on a few shots.
He did hit some shots this game.
He does. I'm not considering, but it's like, again, I just think that the way the offense is run is very, 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 very around the ideology of that they just want to be, you want to limit it. We want to limit any type of risk. And I just think you want to be in a position where it's much more like the defense is at risk when I'm throwing the ball. And and I think every team feels that way. Again, could they make a run? I can't sit here and say no, because again, good defense and running the ball and chewing the clock is a recipe to win games at any level. But the reality of the situation is, bro, Falcons right now are a good team. Again, we're 2 weeks in. Nothing, so again, back to my thing with sample size. Sample size is a real thing. But so far, again, 2-0 is 2-0. And the Falcons defense looks really stout. Small sample size. But and they showed up when it mattered most.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, so I am watching the Packers Falcons. Something that I really picked up on about Ritter is he's a tough player, but like you were saying, like he needs to be that game manager for them. He had 2 drop picks, that really should have been picked. Quay Walker and Jair Alexander, who could have possibly took it back. And this game was a 1-point game. That would have swung the game. So if the Falcons offense wants to succeed, he cannot put the ball in danger to be that effective game manager that they need him to do. And another area that he really struggled in was the red zone. I liked what they did with him. Like when he would get out of structure, like out of the pocket, like he was a little bit more like crafty than I thought like Desmond Ridder would be. And he can actually use his legs. Like they had design runs for him and everything like that. It was a nice touch, but you can really tell this like team believes in itself. And I think Art Smith has created like a great culture there. So do you remember it was like 4th and inches with 2 minutes left. And instead of sneaking the ball, they did a flip out to the outside and they got it.
You saw his reaction?
Oh my God. He was like,
no, dude, that was actually one of those moments. I actually want to discuss this real quick. Side note, tangent. Okay. But all right, that's one of those moments where if you don't make that play and that's the reaction, everybody's going to go to that moment for the whole season. Yeah. It's like, oh God, like this is the identity of the Falcons. Oh, look at this. But lo and behold, again, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Bijan made that play for a reason. The call worked. Hey, and here we are. Art Smith looks like a genius. And I'll say, but regardless, I'm an Art Smith fan. I think Art Smith, I love a lot of his principles. I love the way he plays. We love the whole, I don't really care about anybody being a superstar. I'm just trying to win a game. I love it. And to a lot of just, the Falcons defense looks a lot better this year.
Yeah.
My boy Caden Ellis from the Saints is just balling out. I know Falcons fans know he looks great. I'm not surprised. Disappointed when we lost him. David Onyemata balling out too. And another ex-Saint. But not just that. I mean, we know Jesse Bates is going crazy. The Falcons got a really good defensive unit. And again, it's testament to Art Smith. He's really built the team. My thing is though, okay, I want to raise a question. This is fun. Because I didn't think about this till just now. I really didn't. But we're at a point where the question needs to be asked about the Falcons, right? Is if Desmond Ridder just mids out, has a really tough year, and we're looking, what's everybody going to say about the Falcons? We're all going to have the same consensus. Be like, that team has a really solid defense. They have a really good line. Yeah. They got good trenches. The receiving core, you got to love it. I mean, honestly, maybe you want to add another guy this offseason, but the combination of Kyle Pitts, Drake London is absolutely something you can just build around for a long time. The bottom line is, what are we going to say? We're going to be scratching our head saying, what do they need? Right? They're going to need the quarterback if it's not Desmond Ridder. And what is my thing I'm going to say here is, what's the route? Are they going to do? I'm not comparing them to the Niners. They're nowhere in Niners territory yet. But let's say that they really make that big jump and they show that this is really a team. Again, I'm saying because I can't say it yet, it's week 2, but let's say this is how they look the rest of the year, right? And then Desmond is not the guy. Are you trading for a QB or are you drafting one? Because back to the whole thing of, is the window too small to just draft? And then it's like the Falcons might really be, what I'm leading to is the Falcons might really be a team in that territory where they might be looking to trade for a superstar quarterback this offseason.
Okay.
We've been looking at situations to monitor with guys who might be training quarterbacks. It's looking different now with the fact that the Cardinals maybe are a competitive team and not, but they can, there's things that are volatile right now. The question is, at the end of the day, though, are the Falcons keeping one of those teams that might be looking at a new quarterback situation from a trade perspective?
Yeah, so I could definitely see a trade. So something that I was kind of joking about in our chat, but not, I was halfway serious. Like, Justin Fields would really play well in this offense if he could get over those throwing issues. But here's my thing. You saw what Arthur Smith did with Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. He had his best year under Art Smith. So my thing is, if you can get Desmond Ridder to that level and mold him from a younger age, you may have your guy already. And they like Ridder, and he plays with like an edge to himself. Like, he was talking shit, like he was going crazy, like he'll take a hit, like he's a tough guy. So, and another thing, like, kind of to go back on what you were saying, like, watching London, he's growing every game. Bijan, worth the top pick. Kyle Pitts, so good. Jonnu Smith to pair with him, so good. Like, London, Jair Alexander is one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and London was having his way that game. He was having his way. Art Smith is such like a creative coach, and like, the Falcons have done such a good job just drafting talent. Like, they are just drafting the top guys. They've done such a great job at it.
No, they have. I would say they definitely have, and I'll say 100% with Bijan. And I want to say, too, the thing with Jair. Jair was getting, Drake London was doing his thing, and just the run game was just, man, he was struggling real hard against that run game. Tough week for Jair. But I would say, moving over, I just want to talk about, I got to talk about the Packers real quick, too. So my thing to start with the Packers is, look, I think a lot of people come to this consensus. I know Bears fans are probably a little bit sick to hear this.
Yeah.
But the reality of the situation is, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Jordan Love's been my guy. Jordan Love's going to be a good pro. Jordan Love's going to be a good pro. If anything, he's got a chance to be a great pro. He still has a lot of things he's got to show us. But, he looks really good through 2 weeks. And he's done it against, I can't say one defense that we know struggles a lot, but then one defense that's shown that they could be a formidable opponent. So 2 sample sizes, 2 good results. Obviously there were some things at the end of the game, the QB sneak, all that. Yeah, there's some rough moments here, and there's definitely some tough scenes, which is bound to happen. But all in all, good sample size so far for Jordan Love. And if you're a Packers fan, you love to see it. Young receiving core too. Obviously you're missing a lot of things, but Jaden Reed has showed you Jaden Reed's going to be a good pro. Jaden Reed's going to be electric. Romeo Doubs, a little, I want to see more from him, but the 2 touchdowns week 1, he gets open every here and there, and he also he's a good contested catch guy. It is what it is. My main thing too, as I've been want to talk about is, I know Packers fans have been really on the subject. AJ Dillon is struggling. Like, AJ Dillon's tripping over his own feet a lot. AJ Dillon looks, and as a fantasy owner, I'm not even get on that. It's just tough scene, especially because I'm so running back short. No, but seriously, besides the point. Yeah, I think, and that was my main point, is Jordan Love was working with, not a lot on offense right now from an injury perspective, from a lot of things. No. And they look like a good offense, to me, and they're operating. He's operating the offense really well. He looks very comfortable at the line of scrimmage. That's something you love to see. Yeah. He looks good in the pocket. Packers, I would say, if anything, this is one of those losses where Packers fans, I don't think you should panic about it. It is what it is. It's one of those we should have won that game. We sold, like you did. You sold tough, but it does happen to the best of us.
So another issue that they have is, like, Bakhtiari didn't play because of his knee, and Elton Jenkins got injured. So the whole left side of that line, like the whole part of the Packers being able to succeed with Jordan Love, is they have a very strong run game. And like you said, AJ Dillon, listen, whenever people talk about, like, oh, they got the best backfield, AJ Dillon is good, but he was nowhere near like elite level. So, like, Aaron Jones, great playmaker, but to say that they're like a top backfield in the league, I don't buy it. The backfield comes from the line being so good, and if Bakhtiari is not going to play because he's still dealing with an injury he had from 2 years ago, and Elton Jenkins is hurt, your left side of your line is backups. And now they have a deep offensive line, but it's just like, I don't know. And this is not to hate on the Packers. Like they're going to be a good team. And like their D line was creating pressure on run plays, or on pass plays, but they did struggle some with the run defense. But that, I mean, the Falcons may be one of the best running offenses in the league. So I don't really know, like we'll like sample size like what you're saying. So obviously with those out, like Jordan Love was a little bit more under pressure, and you could see like that they were really missing like those two guys. And they had better pass blocking than they did run blocking this game. And I think that kind of comes from like Aaron Jones making things happen. But anyway, just to talk about Jordan Love, he was getting the ball out of his hands super quickly. And they'll be better when Watson and Jones are there on offense. LaFleur has shown that he's such like a great play caller just in these two games. Like everyone from that Shanahan tree is balling out right now.
So you remember when I said before the year started, I was like, one of the things to watch, is can he still make things work?
Yep.
Well, he's shown us
without Rodgers. So, Love is doing what he needs to do, but also like the Falcons defense, like let's not forget, like they weren't that great last year, and they played the Bears, which might be one of the worst defenses in the league. So I really want to see what Love does versus like an elite team, like an elite defense, and then we can kind of more have those conversations. But overall, he looks pretty good. So that's pretty much all I had on the Green Bay Atlanta game. Do you want to go into our next one?
Yeah, let's move on.